Imagine this. You've met your perfect Filipina. She's very sweet, affectionate, and tells you everything you want to hear. But months or years later, she forgot to tell you something until it was too late.
Trust me, everybody dating a Filipina will eventually find these 10 surprises. Some, Chrissy, are funny. Some, Chrissy, are cultural. And some, they might just change everything.
Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines.
Chrissy, we're spilling the beans. There are 10 things that Filipinas don't let people know when they first meet them. They sort of show up after the fact.
Are you saying that Filipinas lie at the very beginning of your meeting?
No. I think, we always say that people should get to know somebody for at least a year before marrying them. And these are those things that, they're not lies. They're just cultural and things that are being hidden that you don't quite find out in the early stages when all the endorphins and the love is flooding through the zone.
So I think if you think that you already met someone that is perfect for you, you have to dig a lot more to know a lot about her.
Yeah, Chrissy, we did this video called the 12-Step Obstacle Course. It's really like a video game where you have to go through all the levels to win the game. And level 2 is to figure out if it's a short scam and whether they ask for money in the first 15 days. And later on we talk about health and we talk about tompo and jealousy. And this is a little bit more refined. These are not major stages in the relationship. This is about little secrets the Filipinas, they don't like to tell you about early on, but you will learn and they might change everything.
And today we are just going to talk about 10. It's just a few. There might be more with your Filipina.
How many did you hide from me?
I can't remember. Did I hide something from you?
Maybe I learned a few things along the way. We're going to share it with you. Are we going to just give them the biggest secret first, or are we going to make them wait for it?
I think we should make them wait for it.
Okay, stay tuned for the number 1 biggest secret.
When your Filipina will say yes, it doesn't mean she's yes about it. Like Filipinas hate disappointing people. We don't like to disappoint others. So when you say something and we don't want to disappoint you, sometimes we just say yes.
So for example, Chrissy, if I ask you if you want to go to a particular restaurant, and if you're a typical Filipina, you might say yes when you mean no.
Yeah, like we don't really like for example, if your Filipina doesn't really like Korean food or Vietnamese food, but when you say, oh, I love the food in the Vietnamese restaurant, let's go there. Do you like Vietnamese food? And then she will just say, yes.
But not really. So what should a man do? How does he kind of suss through that to figure this out?
He'll figure that out.
He'll figure it out when she doesn't need her food. I always tell men, be careful on that very first video chat, because Filipinas don't like to be abrupt, and they don't like to insult or hurt anybody's feelings. And people may leave that first half-hour video chat thinking they met the love of their life, and she's just being polite.
Yes, and I really believe that be careful of the first impression, because it might not be the real.
Oh, I think we're going to hear more about that. Let's go to the next one.
I think this is my mom. Hello? Oh, you need 10,000 pesos for house repair? I can't tell my boyfriend right now. We need to play cool because it's our first month. Okay, so Filipinas, they are naturally family-oriented. And as what I said before, it could be a disadvantage in the relationship when your Filipina is too hooked or too attached with her family.
And most all will be.
I'm not saying that it's bad. It's a good thing that your Filipina is family-oriented, but too much embracing the family obligation is bad.
If you can't say no to some uncle who never had a job.
Yeah.
And Chrissy, there's something called the breadwinner culture in the Philippines, which whenever anybody in the family goes off as an overseas foreign worker or meets a foreigner or gets a really good job, they're expected to help out quite a bit. That's why you can't go home, because you might come back poor from a visit. So this is a little bit like that. And, you might help out in extreme emergencies if the roof falls in a storm, you might help out, but you don't want to be there to keep people's daily needs going, right?
And I think, speaking of finding it out late, it is because Filipinas doesn't want to show red flag to you at the very beginning. And we knew that if we're going to involve family in a Western Filipino relationship, it could be a risk.
So what could a man do to tease this out, to find out if he's going to be expected to pay all the bills?
I think in the very beginning, you have to ask about the family members. What are their jobs? How many of them are married already? How many kids? And who is supporting them? So I think by that questions, it will trigger her to tell you something about her family.
Not all.
Not all.
So stay tuned. You'll learn more as you get to know your Filipina better. So whatever she tells you at the beginning, that's the minimum, right?
Yeah, the maximum details will be
maximum details
later
to follow. She may not like public displays of affection, and you might be wondering what's up because you like to be affectionate with your Filipina in public and private, everywhere. What do you say to that?
Well, it could be other way, like some Filipinas will show that, they don't like PDA, but in reality, they really like showing public display of affection. Could go either way.
Only time will tell.
And that is why it's very important for you to date her for a very long time before putting all your chips in
one basket.
So a tip for you is that you have to know her comfort level. Don't take it personally. So one thing you have to know is that a Filipina might seem modern, but deep down, most of us were raised traditionally.
She's not as liberated and open-minded, and she's more old school. And we're looking for old school, but this is going to be a little bit of a surprise to you guys. She's a little bit more traditional and old school than you thought. That's very likely to reveal itself over time. As a man, that plays out. The woman is looking for a deep commitment, a long-term relationship, and she expects you to be the man in the relationship and the breadwinner.
And if you're not expecting marriage when you come here in the Philippines and you've met this Filipina and you were thinking that, I think this is the right Filipina that I could have just to have, living together, no marriage involved. But then she seems to be modern, but she's really traditional and want marriage.
And she may want a child. If she only has one or has no children, it could be a huge problem if she says, oh, no, I don't want any children. Well, you will find out that she does want children. Gentlemen, Filipinas appreciate chivalry, and be clear on the relationship roles. She expects you to fix the plumbing. One of the other things you may not figure out right away when you're going to restaurants and paying for meals is your choice of food and your Filipina's choice of food may not match.
Well, it happens all the time.
We quite often eat different food for dinner. In fact, sometimes you eat with your father and your son CJ, and I eat alone, although you do make me a nice meal.
Yeah, well, I give you meal first before I eat with them.
Oh, I love burgers without the bun. You like dried fish and rice, and I don't allow dried fish to be cooked in the house.
I like adobo, I like dried fish, I like pinakbet, I like balut.
Oh, the balut, the half-fertilized duck egg.
Yeah, so, there's a lot of differences that you might experience with your Filipina, and you will find out a lot more along the way of your relationship, especially when you'll stay longer. Yeah,
well, you love to get together with your Filipina girlfriends and eat all kinds of exotic food. Sometimes it's been sitting out for 4 hours and it's cold, and it just makes you so happy. But you don't really realize that you're not quite on the same page as on food when you first meet. Now, Chrissy, here's the big one. If a lot of guys, and we know a lot of expats, it took me a while to get this. When we first met, I had a rule, my phone is my phone.
Yeah.
And my password's my password, and that's just the way I rolled. And when I got here, and I met all my card and golf buddies, they all let their wives have access to their phone. And you used to not be too happy about your status as a person who had no access to my phone.
Yeah.
And I've learned since that this can be a real problem, and a Filipina will not tell you this at first, but she will be determined to break into your phone and gain full access and have that wifely status eventually. Like a lot of my friends' wives have access to their phones. And a few of my friends who don't allow access, it's a constant cause of problems sometimes.
Yeah. So I think here's the thing. If you at the very beginning, if you're gonna tell your Filipina that she's not allowed to get into your phone, then she will suspect that you're hiding something in your phone. But if you will just leave her clueless and don't give her an access, let her think that you're not hiding something about your phone, but you just don't have time yet to tell her what's the password or things like that. Because if you're gonna give her a warning right away that, hey, this is my phone, this is only my phone, you're not allowed to be here, then she will think, so something's in there.
Something's in there. Well, with us, I told you, okay, if I'm going to give you access to my phone, I need to prepare it. I got emails going back 15 years. I've got photos of travels and other relationships in the past that I wouldn't want you to have access to.
A lot of relationships.
So I needed the time to cleanse the phone. And my banking and things like that are, they have double authentication and things.
Yeah,
so.
Just in case for a backup plan of the Filipina. You have to be careful.
Yeah. So, here's a really important tip. If you decide you're going to block your Filipina girlfriend on Facebook or TikTok or Instagram, you should expect that some really gorgeous woman will befriend you, and she might not be who she seems she is, right?
Could you mean your exes?
It could be. No, I mean, if you don't like if you're dating a girl and you don't want her in your social media and you block her, well, odds are she'll just have her girlfriend friend you and she'll have access to it that way.
Well, it happens all the time. So for some other women, but it depends, because a woman that has a self-respect will not do that.
But Filipinas more than average they're very, very sneaky that way. You have to be transparent, right?
Yes. I think it will work both ways if you're going to be both transparent to each other. Like, you will not like if your Filipina is hiding her phone from you. Will you like it?
No, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, see? So I think Filipinas are loyal, but also they are curious, plus they're jealous.
You are the prize. It's like a lottery ticket. She got to keep close eyes on that prize and not lose it. So they're going to be way more interested in what's really happening, and the status of your relationship is going to be way more important than normal. Yeah. Number 4 through number 2. We're working our way down to number 1, Chrissy. Speed round. True or false? She may not tell you about her exes.
True.
So Chrissy, Filipinas, I've heard, now you were married only once, you have only one ex.
Yeah.
But I've heard that if a Filipina has been helped by a man financially, she's going to keep that relationship in higher category of security. She's not going to put up a fence and build a barrier the way we would in the West with our exes.
It's true to a lot of Filipinas, yeah.
Why? So why do Filipinas keep their exes, in friend zone?
Well, especially when they have children with them.
Oh, well, that's different. But if there's no children, why would a Filipina keep an ex in a friend zone?
You mean by financial interest, something like that?
Yeah, it could be. Is that why?
Some reasons, but I don't know. I don't know some Filipinas that are still connected with their exes because they were supported financially, though. Maybe they have kept it very, very secret.
On the down low.
Yeah, because I don't think it's a good thing to share with others.
It's not all bad if she stays friendly with some exes, but it's best for you to know beforehand, so you're emotionally prepared for that friendship, or if you find it one day and you're not expecting it, you don't want it to be too shocking. So find out and ask.
By the way, I'm going to ask you something. What if we just met and in our first month, I don't want to hide anything. I want to tell you the truth. I'm going to tell you I'm still best friend or friend with my ex.
That would be a negative, and it might not be in your best interest.
Yeah, but at least the Filipina is honest to you. What do you think about that?
Well,
it's not late.
It's not late, and it's being honest, transparent. I would give a lot of points for the transparency and honesty, but there'd be some negatives that would come with it.
And then you set boundaries.
Not ideal, like you like to say.
Yeah, and then maybe you have to set boundaries after
whenever
that.
you start controlling people and setting boundaries, then that's more negative coming from you. So I don't know. I don't have a perfect answer. But gentlemen, beware. She may keep some close friendships with some past romantic partners, especially if they've helped her out financially in the past. And plan B would be, if you're out of the picture, she might go back to that well one more time.
Yeah, that's why it's very hard to find out if you're not living together.
Yeah.
You just spend small time in the Philippines and you go back to the West in a very long time. So you don't see where is her whereabouts.
Yeah, you got to be here long enough to figure out if it's a long con. here in the Philippines, gossip travels fast. All women gossip and men gossip too, but I've never seen anything quite like it. It's lightning fast, and if you don't want the entire expat community to know your business, you're better off to keep it to yourself. Now, Chrissy, she's got like a lockbox, and as far as I know, she's the exception to the rule. But there is a lot of gossip going around, and Filipinas, they love to gossip, don't they?
Most of us. I mean, I like hearing gossip. I'm curious. I wanted to learn, but I'm scared of passing it through. That's my rule, that I could accept gossip. I could listen to it, but I should not add to it.
And I've learned that I can't say things in front of other Filipinas that I think will stay in my house, because they'll go to a party and share everything they heard me say to Chrissy, even though I'm not serious about it, and it'll put me in a bad light potentially, because they don't understand how Chrissy and I work. And when I tell Chrissy, I'm not buying something expensive, she's got a few more chances to ask. It doesn't mean no, but I've had experiences where people have just shared too much.
Yeah, and I think you better make sure with your Filipina that she's gonna keep the secrets that you're gonna tell her.
You really need to. This takes a while, because she might tell you, oh no, she doesn't share. But then you hear so much else that's being shared, and you see the other women sharing. You wonder, how could your Filipina be so different? So until you really understand the level of sharing that your Filipina is engaged in, you have to be extremely careful. Yeah.
Have you noticed that sometimes you'll tell me, hey, Chrissy, did you know that? I know.
Yeah.
I'll just say, I know.
They know everything. It's crazy. And everybody might know your business. If you're with the typical Filipina, everybody knows your business. So be careful what you share. You need to understand if her parents are working, what the socioeconomic condition of the family is. Are they employed? Are they drunks? Are they going to borrow money for trucks within the first month? And, a loan in the Philippines is never getting paid back. So, you have to really be careful. We have a special situation here where I've put your father on the payroll, and I'm going to put your stepfather on the payroll to help build and be a caretaker. And, I don't see sending CJ to private school as being anything extraordinary, but we do have a couple of your relatives that we're supporting, but they're doing the same work we'd have to hire someone else to do anyway. So that may be the best of all worlds. Many of you watching will just call BS, oh, your whole family's on the payroll. Put your comment below. I can take it. I'm a big boy. What do you say to this, that they won't find out in the first year?
That's the thing that I did not find out about you in the first year, because I was expecting that foreigners would be like really tight with their money and they will support your Filipina or the Filipinas children, but that's it, So the thing that I find out about you is you work practically, your mind runs practically, and instead of hiring other people we don't know, you just put it in the family, because they got to help us, and at the same time we got to help them.
Yeah. Now, Chrissy, you don't like the idea of leaving CJ with a non-family member. You feel like, God forbid something happened, the family members would hold you responsible. But if you have a nanny or a housekeeper or Popsy drives CJ to school and back, you feel confident, you feel like you've done the best that a mother could do to have a family member in charge. And that's the same monies we'd have to pay a stranger. And then your stepfather is retiring as a builder, foreman for a builder, and we need a contractor, and we need someone to be a caretaker up in the mountain. And so we're going to put him on the payroll too. So I don't see it as a charity. I don't see that I've stepped in to solve their problem. I feel like it's a good trade. Yeah,
it's a good trade. It's a fair transaction.
But you might have a different opinion. Some people, and Chrissy, when I met you, this is things that a Filipina might not, I never led you to believe I would ever put a family member on the payroll. I would ever help, except maybe a little bit for an extreme emergency. And the way we work it is you get your allowance, and what you do with it is your business, and I'm not here to help solve problems.
She might have a backup plan.
Whoa, that's a very sneaky thing to have a backup plan.
It doesn't sound good.
Do you think most guys have a plan B in the back of their head if it doesn't work out?
So far as I know, yeah.
Yeah?
Like, guys always have plan B. Even plan C and D.
They get to a certain age and they come to the Philippines, there is no plan B. They've spent all their money.
I'm not saying that all Filipinos are doing this or having a backup plan, but most of us have a backup plan just in case the relationship will not work, what they're gonna do, what will happen to them, and what are their plan.
What would be some telltale signs? Am I missing? Did I not read the tea leaves? What's your backup plan?
Oh, should I share it to them?
Okay.
So during the time that I gave you the chance to meet me in person and get to know me better, and of course get to know him better, I had already the backup plan that if this will not work, I will pursue my teaching in Vietnam.
Oh, you were going to go to Vietnam.
It's not a bad
Maybe I was your
plan.
backup plan. Your primary plan was to go teach in Vietnam.
Maybe at the very beginning, you were the backup plan. And then when I met you, I was like, okay, I'll just put everything here.
Oh, you went with the backup plan.
Put the Vietnam plan aside because, you know, that's what I am telling you, that only you would know along the way of your relationship.
Yeah, I didn't realize that when I first met you.
You thought, but I
didn't know how close you were to leaving to go to Vietnam.
You didn't know, you know already.
Not at first, yeah.
Yeah.
So those are the things you learn.
And you just learn it now?
No, but I learned along the way, yeah. Which one of these 10 things surprised you the most? Go ahead and comment below.
And don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel.
For a 90-minute consultation, send us an email
At flymetothephilippines@gmail.com.
And don't forget to check out our new book, a bestseller trending on Amazon. The link is here in the description box and the comment box. Till next time.
Only here from Fly Me to the Philippines.